Hello and welcome to Pentart. Today we're going to do a make and mingle with the retailers. We have a special guest today. Her name is Michaela, and she is going to be talking fine line crackle with us. Now, the fine line can be a very, very tricky crackle, but we're going to show you step by step today how to do it. She's even got some great tips for you. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring in Michaela. There she is. Hey, Michaela. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, yeah, I know you've been using Pentart for as long as I have, so I know you know a lot too. So we're glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked on my page how they can watch. You're gonna have to figure it out over here.
Yeah, we'll make sure that we'll save the replay and then we can link it to your page and everything. So
I'm just gonna turn on do not disturb so I don't have the beeps. I know that can be annoying.
okay, so what we're gonna do is when I let you go and take over, and any comments or questions that come in, I'll just read them out loud with trying not to interrupt you. But we are live on both Facebook and YouTube. And we
Okay.
have Renee Hamilton with us. Hey Renee, I'll put her up there real quick. So when I put these up there, can you see that on your screen?
I can. Except
Oh,
I'm frozen again.
oh yeah, but it'll work through. It'll be fine.
All right.
You're just a little bit slower than me. All right. So, Michaela, I'm going to have you take it away, okay? Here you go. It's all yours.
All right. Well, hey everybody. Thanks for having me on the page. It's been a long time since I've done a live, so bear with me and give me some grace. All right, so what I'm doing, I have these are my lamps, and they are porcelain or ceramic, whatever you want to call it. And with a fine line Pentart product, I've seen a lot of people, most everybody does decoupage. Like I do a lot of ornaments with this product, and I wanted to do something where you don't feel like you have to know how to decoupage first. And you can just take any vase or anything that's already ceramic and add the crackle to it, and it will give it some more character. So this is what the lamps look like before. They're just plain cream colored ceramic. I got them for $4 at the thrift store. Love them. And this is what we're going for. So this is after I've crackled. Can you see that?
Amazing. I can see it. It's beautiful.
It's kind of, I can't really tell from here if y'all can see it. It looks like there's too much of a glare. But anyway, so here's the fine line crackle on ceramic with no primer or anything. It's not scratching off. It's on there like glue, like it's actual cracked ceramic. And I'm gonna show you how I got to this point, and I'm gonna show you some things like on this one that I did wrong. So I did the back of my lamp first because I know myself and I know that I make boo-boos. And one of the things I did was I smudged the part 2. And you can see where when I put on my wax, it smudged it. And I did try to use some solvent cleaner to get that off, and it took a lot of it off. But this doesn't bother me because if you're going to use this product, you kind of have to just be able to accept what you achieve, because it is not a perfect, it's not meant to be a perfect product. You want it to be random because that's what gives it more of an authentic look. You could use a crackle stamp and get a similar look, but it's going to be very repetitive. And there's nothing repetitive about this product. So first I want to show you some examples. So that I did on there is a thicker application of part 2. This product has 2 parts. It has that part 1, which mine is missing the label. Part 1, this goes on first, and this has to be completely dry. And then part 2. And Pentart has, and Shannon's been doing wonderful videos for you guys, showing you all the different crackles and how each one of them are applied and what you can achieve with each one. So this one in particular is fine line. And correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, but I'm pretty sure this one is the only one that has some two pretty important rules.
Yeah.
One, you have to always use a dry brush.
Yes, a clean, dry brush.
Clean, dry brush. So I have a few of mine here. I have about a bazillion. So if I make a mistake, I throw it in water and I grab another one, but they're always dry. I never pulled it out of the water and use it. And that is for part 1 and part 2. Also for fine line crackle, you have to seal it with a solvent sealer. And I love to use the Pentart gloss. This is what I use. I don't know what you use, Shannon.
I use that one a lot too, and sometimes I'll use the orange one, the amber one, the glossy varnish.
Yeah. Well, for this project, I definitely didn't want the amber because these are a nice cream color, and I didn't want to have any ambering.
Oh no, it's
So
beautiful.
this dries perfectly clear. And so those are really the only two rules. There's not really any rules about back brushing, how thick you put it on, how thin you put it on, but you can get different looks depending on how you apply this, the part 2. Part 1, I haven't found there to be differing cracks with how that one's applied. Have you, Shannon, had any experiments with part 1 being thicker or thinner and getting a different application?
Oh yeah, I experiment all the time. I have it all in my notes. But definitely like component 1, is the same component for all the crackles.
Yeah.
So
To me, it doesn't really, as long as you have coverage. So if you don't get it on a part of it, that part's not going to crack,
exactly.
basically. That's
Right.
probably the only implication. It doesn't really matter. So you don't have to put a thick coat on. You just need to make sure that you have it completely covered.
Yeah, and it doesn't
So
even
what?
have to be equal because it's, you want it to be, random. You don't want it to be the exact same. So
Right. And my part 1, and I'll show you when I'm getting ready to put it on here. My part 1 is pretty thick. I've had this jar open before, and I've poured stuff, other crackle part 1s in here just to work out of the bigger jar. So this one is pretty thick. And so when I was experimenting with all this a couple days ago, I was not sure how it was going to work. I was going to have to crack open a new jar, but it worked fine. So you have a part 1 that's been open for a while, and it's a little thicker, and it's it's pretty thick. I'll show y'all when I get started here, but it's not watery. But what I did was I wasn't sure what I wanted on my personal lamps. It's not like I'm making these to sell. These are going to be in my living room. So I did want to test a little bit. So I did a quick little test, and I just want to show y'all. And I don't know if you can see it because the light looks like that it is pretty bright. I'm not sure.
yeah, I can
Is that
see it.
better?
Nice. No, it looks
Okay. So these are different. I saw Shannon had used the mica powders and the metal pigment. Did you use both of those or just the mica?
I use the mica, the metal, and I also use the rub-on pigment.
Oh, okay, I didn't see the red one pigment. I could have tried that one because I do have a blue. Because I have a lot of blues, navy blues, and stuff in my house. So I wanted it to be a blue crack. But so I used the blue mica, and this result. Let me see if I can get it to
There, yeah, angle it a different way.
let me see.
There we go. Yeah, so you
It's
can low. Yep. Oops.
oh my goodness. And I have this light out. This is really irritating me.
It's a bright light, yes.
I mean, this light is out. So I don't know why
It's probably your phone. Could be your phone. Oh, there you go, right there. Hold it right there. I can see the blue.
okay.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so I really liked that, but it was a little bright for my living room. I kind of really liked it, but I just was afraid it was going to be too bright. So I'm going to actually, and I'm going a little bit outside the box. I didn't use an antique paste. I used a wax paste, and it worked perfect. I have no problems using it. I used it on this section here. Now, this section here, you can tell that there's a lot more cracks
Yes,
than this section, any of the sections. This was the thinnest application of part 2. I just barely put any product on here. It's very, very thin. And then the thickest one was this one up here.
Yeah,
And you can see there's a lot less cracks, but they're a little wider. So really, if you play with it, and so these two are the mica powder and the gold and the bronze, or the bronze and the orange, I'm sorry, which are very close in color, but there is a slight difference. The orange is a little brighter. It's like a bright bronze. But there's not a huge difference. And you can see where, the mica powder just attaches so well that it just right on the edge there where I didn't have any product. And this is just a primer on here of a vase that I had primed, I don't know, months ago, but it was a similar color to what I was working with. And then on this side is silver and gold. There, you can kind of see it. That's silver and gold metal pigment powder, because I didn't have any like antique paste that was that color. So this was just me testing the thickness, how big my cracks were, and the color for my living room. And as much as I love the lots of cracks for my smalls, like I love this look on my ornaments and stuff when I'm using the umber, which is my favorite antique paste, is the umber.
Yes, it is pretty.
But for these, I put it on a little bit thicker. I didn't do as thick as some of that, and then like you said earlier, it's not all the same thickness. It's kind of thicker in some areas because these are vertical. I was getting a little bit of drip, and so I did kind of smooth that out and try to thin it out just a little bit. But don't freak out if you get drips, because I kind of did a little bit freaked out, because that's what I do. And I rubbed trying to get some of the bumps out, and this is what I ended up with. But then I decided to leave the other ones. And after it completely dried, you cannot tell where the drips are. Like, you can't see them. I don't know if they have cracks on them, but so I wouldn't worry if you got a few drips. It's not going to be a big deal. All right, so I'm going to show you the steps that I took to get here, and what we're going to do at the end, this side that I have here, and you probably will not be able to tell because of this freaking light situation.
I can see it. Looks good. Yeah.
So there are tons of cracks in here that y'all can't see. And I think a lot of times when people are using this product, they don't think it's cracking. And they're looking at it, because if I look at this at certain angles, I can see the cracks. But if I'm just looking at it, I can't really see a lot of these cracks. So before you decide you don't have cracks, put your product in the cracks.
Absolutely. Guess what? The first time I ever used it, I put it on and I let it sit, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I was so bummed. I was so bummed. And then, I was like, I'm just going to throw some antique wax on anyway. And I was like, oh my goodness, they're there. And crazily enough, that's my reel for later today. It's how the first time I used it, and then how put it on anyway because the cracks are there.
Yep.
Yep.
And the other thing that I do, I don't know, I have seen some other artists say don't use heat, but I'm going to be using heat, and I use heat.
I use heat too.
Okay, I've never had a problem using the heat. In fact, I feel like I get a much better result. I do hear people say, I did put wax in it, and there's no cracks. There's no cracks. I've never not gotten cracks. Now, I am inside, but I am in Florida. My air conditioner runs, 10 months out of the year. I don't know if it's a temperature thing, a humidity thing. I know that humidity can affect crackles, because with furniture, I've had problems outside. But don't give up. One thing I have heard other people do, and I haven't had to do this because I always get cracks, but I have heard that some people will add some second part and try again, and then they get cracks. Or I even have seen some retailers say that even the next day, when they didn't have cracks, they just hit it with a little bit of heat and they appeared.
They show up. Yep.
So if you're having a problem, don't be afraid to use a blow dryer. I have a heat gun in here. It's probably not the safest thing with these glass lamps, but I didn't break that one. So let's hope we don't break this one.
Oh.
All right. So the way I prep this, I had to put myself a note. 'Cause this side I've already put part 1 on, and if you can tell to look at it, it looks just like ceramic. This kind of makes it look dull, but it's not. It's super shiny. I could leave this just like this, and nobody would ever know that there is a product painted on here. It dries just the same color and brightness as the porcelain. This side is prepped and ready for part 1. So let's get to it. All right. So the way I prep this is I used White Lightning, which I sell Dixie Belle. So it is a TSP alternative deglosser. I used that first with a 3M scrubby. And then I rinsed it with denatured alcohol and water mix. I always use that to rinse my products because it just gets off all the oils and stuff. And then I did go, just because I was testing this for you guys, I hit it with some sandpaper. And I used, this is 120 grit, but it has been used a little bit. So it's probably more like 150. And I cannot see scratches. So like if you were to start this and be like, I don't want to ruin my lamp, you probably, if it's a good foundation, which these are in perfect condition, I have no scratches. And then I just wiped it back down again to get all the dust off. And like I said, I can scratch that part 2 and I'm not getting any pullback whatsoever. So I want to show you how thick this is. So, because this, I don't think a new product when you first open it is this thick. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, but
Oh no,
it's
thick. Yeah.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah.
And then I'm just slapping it on, like, for lack of a better word or a more professional word. Can you see what I'm doing?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I can see it. We can see it.
You can see it. All right. So I will not, well, I'm just going to go through here and I'm going to show you how some of this is thick and some of this is thin. I don't want this to drip because it is so thick. So I'm going to smoosh some of it. That's a very professional word.
I love that smush word.
Smushing. We're smushing it into the little cracks so that it doesn't like pull. And I have found even air drying both of these part 1 and part 2 products, they dry pretty darn fast. Especially part 2. I don't know if you've noticed that, Shannon, but I mean, I can be putting wax into my cracks within minutes, really, especially when you're using heat.
Oh, Megan's on. Say, hey, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Megan. Welcome to the party.
No, mine takes a little bit longer than minutes.
Yeah, I maybe it's because my house is really cold right now because we don't really use the heat much, and you probably have heat going up there.
Yeah. Yes, I probably.
I don't know. I do think that temperature and humidity affect crackle. In my experience,
it absolutely does.
Yeah, it definitely affects. That's usually my first question when someone tells me that they didn't get crackle is, where did you paint it and what was the humidity when you painted it? Because I did a dresser one time with it was a part 1, it was a 1-part crackle, but that shouldn't matter. It's the same basic concept. And I got no cracks. I got this really cool alligator skin looking finish. And I'll tell you what, that thing sold. That lady loved it so much, but I was like so upset. I was like, there's not a single crack in it. It's just a bunch of bumps.
Aww.
And I realized that was my first experience with products and temperature and humidity and how important it is. Like, it's just, you can't ignore that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm done. And it's pretty thick. I don't know, y'all aren't going to be able to see this, but can you trust me when I say it's white? It's not,
right.
it's pretty thick. All right. So
That's
that's
what's so nice
literally,
about that.
huh?
That's what's so nice about the component one. It goes on white, and then you
Yeah.
know that it's dry when it's clear. If you put anything on too soon, it'll stay foggy, and so you got to make sure that that first fit. Once it's dry, it's clear and shiny, and you're ready to go.
Yep. And I'm going to just pop this in a glass of water. I'm not touching it again. That was part one. And what she says is it does dry absolutely clear and shiny because this side has it on there already. And again, y'all can't see because
You're
it's
doing
just that
fine. I
bad.
can see. It comes and goes. It's good. You're fine.
But I can feel the difference. I will tell you that. So I can feel the difference. It's just a little bit different feel than a raw ceramic. So if you, that's why I put a note on there for myself so I could be sure to be correct. And I came in here and I was like, I can feel it's not sticky. It just feels different than glass. And you see, it doesn't tap like glass either. Okay. So that's as easy as part one is. Now, part two is this one. Okay. It's not clear. This brown color is the color it is. So don't get all upset if it comes in and it looks like that. It's all good.
Yep.
So I'm going to let that dry while we work on this side real quick. But I will say this one is much more liquidy.
Yes,
Okay.
it is definitely.
And so that is where if you can work horizontally, it's a lot better because you don't have to worry about drips. But we're working on a lamp and conditions do not allow me to work horizontally. I mean, I guess I could have sat it down in something, but I didn't. And it's good because now y'all know that the drips don't really show up once it's completely dry. Now I'm putting this on pretty thick so you can see the amber. Y'all can't see.
I can see that. I can see it.
So y'all can see this amber, and so it's pretty amber. Like I can see it, and I'm gonna leave it more like that. On that other vase where I got the really thin cracks, I literally would put it in, wipe it back, and just basically almost like a dry brush. I
Yep.
barely put anything on here. And I got all those beautiful cracks. Like it was just amazing. But that's not what I want in my living room. I want it to be thick. So I'm going to add more. And I'm just going to slap it on here. Smush it in because I do have there's some little decoration moldy looking things on the base of this.
Megan said Michaela is such a cutie.
Oh, God bless you.
And another thing is just to be for them to understand, like when you're putting on component two,
Yes.
the thinner you put it on, the more delicate cracks. The thicker you put
Yes.
it on, the bigger the cracks. But also, they don't want to overwork step two. They don't want to overwork it.
Yeah. Now I also did that. Some of those that I did only in one direction. Actually, the thin one. So the thin one, I only moved it in one direction very thinly, and I got really thin, multiple cracks. But this thicker, I purposely went back and forth and did Xing on it, like just kind of smushed it around because I think in the one part crackles, you have to be careful not to back brush.
Oh, for sure.
Because you're adding color usually. And so if you back brush, you're basically filling in the crack that you just produced. With this, I didn't feel like I was losing cracks by just back and forth like this. It's not like I'm not overworking it like it's already starting to dry and then I'm gonna go smush it.
Right.
Because I do feel like this part two, I have found that it does dry pretty darn fast. I mean, I guess faster. Maybe I should say in comparison to part one.
Oh yeah, for sure. And don't you find that like the part two is self-leveling?
Oh yeah. So like I'm actually noticing that while you said that. We must be like
Yeah.
on the same wavelength because I'm gonna leave it like this actually over here. I'm gonna move it. Even though this side is wet, it's not really touching the table. Because I'm not getting any drips because it's all leveling out.
Right.
It's like as soon as I was thinking it as you were saying, I was like, gosh, that's nice. It looks so nice. There's no.
One thing I love
So,
about Fine Line, it does that. Now listen, here's a question. We have Catherine wants to know which crackle product are we talking about?
okay, this is Pentart Fineline Crackle. I'm going to show you because this one has the label on it. Okay, is it backwards or no? I can't
No,
tell.
you're right. It's good. I can see it.
Okay, so this is what we're working with, and in the Pentart line, there's one step, right, Shannon? There's only one
Yeah,
step.
the first step, component one, is the same component in all of them.
Right. All the two steps
Are different.
have right. That's what I was kind of trying to get. So like if I were to use so I have over here, I have random crackle and transparent gel crackle. I could use this part one that I just used for any of these.
Right. It's all universal. Same.
Yeah. And I don't think everybody realizes that because they do come, some of them come packaged this way. This is like together. Like this is what I carry at my booth at Junk in the Trunk in Fleming Island. But if you were to run out this part one, you could just go get a big part one from any of the other crackles, and you're good to go. And that's why I kind of keep this one jar, and I just keep pouring these little ones into it. Because I mean, this is hard to work with. I need space. Okay, so I'm going to move this. So now we've seen y'all. So this is starting to dry. And so this side, I'm getting on my tiptoes as if that will matter that y'all can see it better. I can see there's a lot of clear sections already. Okay, so this is drying very nicely. And then this is part two. So it's a little bit more amber. And I see I've been spinning it around. So guess what happened? There's a drip. I'm just going to brush it lightly with this dry brush. Remember, dry brush. Okay, I'm just going to set it right here. Let it do its thing. But I have a feeling I'm going to want to hit it with some heat. I don't know why, but I just have much better results with it when I do that. Okay, now this is when the magic happens.
Oh, that's my favorite part.
I kind of wish I had done, but you've done it. I was like, I kind of wish I had done some more samples with the part two already done so I could show some of these other products, but you already did that, so I don't need to do that. All right. Okay, so I know that this is not what this product is always marketed for. This is the wax paste, and this is usually for the peaks, not the valleys, but it works.
You can smush it down in there. Yes, you can.
I can. I'm going to use my finger because this is the color that I wanted for my living room. And if I had this mica was I mean, it's beautiful. This is golden blue and it is gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Except it's a little bit bright for my living room. So I'm going to go with the safe one, which is more navy. All right, here we go. It's gorgeous. Okay. Now, y'all can see there's nothing on there. Oh, my goodness. I have no cracks. I'm going to cry. So, I'm going to show you. I don't know. Can you see it right now? I can't tell what y'all can see.
I can see.
I can see. I can see. Okay, so I'm pushing down. I need to get a clean paper towel. I'm not using a wet paper towel. And I'm not using baby wipes. Baby wipes are no-no also with Fine Line. So I'm just aggressively rubbing this, and it's cracked.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
And there is some on here that's a little bit smushed. So what I'm going to do, let me see if I have some solvent cleaner in here somewhere that's not. My solvent cleaners stay really dirty.
Mine too. I use it. Or do you have the transparent wax paste? That'll erase it too.
I'd probably somewhere, but I do have some solvent. This stuff is really stinky, but I love it.
It's very stinky.
So it's just this is like what I use to clean up when I'm using these products. I'm just going to dab my little thing in here, and I'm going to wipe it with where I don't want the blue. And it's not pulling it out of the cracks, by the way. It's in the cracks, and it is not coming out of the cracks, which is one of the things that I was a little concerned about with the mica powder. They stayed in perfectly.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, so moving on. Shannon's probably like, shut your mouth and just keep going.
No. You're doing awesome. It's a great tutorial.
All right. So I'm going in and I'm smishing it in. I did try this with a brush yesterday, and I didn't like it. So it was just, I was too impatient probably. It just didn't work. I like getting dirty anyway. And you can see it's got cracks.
Oh yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So we're just going to keep going down. And if you don't like getting your fingers dirty like I do, you can use a glove, but that is no fun. And it just isn't, just use your fingers. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is going to be so pretty.
That is beautiful.
Love it. And this color in the jar, it doesn't look like navy. It's pretty bright.
Yep, it's the colored ones.
But it's kind of given me navy vibe. I have navy curtains, like they've got some navy in them.
Well, when you put them in your living room, you're going to have to send pictures so we can post it so everybody can see what the final outcome.
Okay.
You know, with the lamp and the room and everything, because what a difference.
I know. And so there, I didn't get enough. So I'm just kind of testing how it's so amazing to me how these cracks are really not very deep. They're pretty shallow.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get it in there, like I didn't have enough in this section right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just pushing it harder, and they're getting darker. And then I'm just going to wipe lightly back. But it's not pulling it out. Sometimes I do get too aggressive with the paper towel, and I pull too much out because I push. But worst case scenario, you gotta stick your finger back in here and do it again.
Yeah, just add some more.
Yep, just add some more. And I'm noticing too what I could do with this, and I may later. I could use this to make like some shadows and just, oops, antique it a little bit more. I also had tried some silver. I really like the golds, but for my living room, I think the silvers make more sense because I don't know. I might play around with the colors and then I'll post pictures. Because I did on the fine crackle on that sample, I actually did both of the blues and gold all together, like in sections.
Very nice.
And let me tell you, y'all need to start playing with these colors because one color is just boring.
I feel like I'm in a disco with your strobe light.
Is it strobing? I have no idea why, and I apologize.
It goes bright and then it goes to regular, and then it goes bright and then it goes regular.
I haven't done a live in I don't know, probably. Well, I mean, I think I did a quickie with you
No,
maybe last year.
you're doing great. It's just your light is acting a little weird. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's just I've tried to fix it. I think it's these fluorescent lights
Oh,
the LED lights.
yep.
I think I'm just going to go buy a bunch of incandescent lighting and put it in here.
But that means you
They
have to
don't, huh?
that means that you have to go live more often if you do that.
That's true. But I would be able to see in here. I might have to get a fan in here if I did that because it'd be hot as heck. Um, but the incandescents don't flicker, and sometimes I wonder if I have 1, 2, 3, 4 very large LED lights in here, like garage lights,
Oh, okay.
and I'm wondering if the flicker that we can't see with the bare eye is what's causing that, because it only happens with those in here.
Yeah, that's got to be
Okay.
some lights.
So I'm just wiping this. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of this solvent on here because I got a little bit excited and put too much down here. And I'm wiping right across these cracks, and the wax is not coming out of the cracks. It's in there very well. And like I was saying earlier, this is a very imperfect product. If you're a type A OCD, you got to have control over your art. Don't use this product. Just because, it's just not meant to be used that way. It's random. It's supposed to be authentic.
Absolutely. Authentic is correct.
Yeah, it's I have a little bit, and I'm not sure what causes this. And this, you know what? I bet this is. I just had an epiphany. So remember earlier I said to make sure you have full coverage
Oh,
of
you
your
probably
phone.
missed the spot.
So I think I'm looking at it right now, and I'm going to try and show you. I'm going to put
Right
my
there.
finger next
Yep.
to it. Do you see that blue?
Uh-huh.
How it's solid?
Yep.
I think that's part 1
Oh, it
without
could
any
be.
part 2 on it.
But hey, that makes it look more authentic, like it's really old and aged.
I love it. Like, these are just exciting. Okay, so now I gotta try to remember, since I spun my lamp around 16 times. Okay, this is the first one. So now I'm gonna go ahead. I didn't seal this yesterday. I was gonna seal it ahead of time to show everybody how bright and beautiful the sealer is after it's dry. But I didn't want to accidentally get sealer over my part 2, because then I definitely wouldn't have gotten any cracks. So I'm going to go ahead and show you just how quick and easy. How long have we been on? So we've done a lamp and a half.
38
So
minutes.
in less than an hour. Now I do have some drips over here. I'm going to take close-up pictures of this
Yes.
and show y'all how it just doesn't matter.
Oh, we have a funny. Roxanne says, your finger is going to be blue for a while. Ha
No, it's not. Who is that? Roxanne, let me show you, girl. So I'm going to stick my finger in this solvent cleaner.
Oh, jeez. I've never done that.
She might be right. Okay. You've never used the solvent cleaner to clean your fingers?
No. I
Girl,
don't like the smell of it, so I don't want it on me.
I love it.
Ugh. It does do really good at though cleaning up your brushes, I will say.
It cleans, and the thing is too, I just, because we're talking about Pentart, this is a Pentart product. Anytime I use gilding waxes or any of the anything that's solvent based,
Yep.
when you clean your brush, you can, I don't know if y'all do this, but I put it right in this jar and clean it and then wash it off with this, and then the remnants from that brush will go to the bottom of this. And so you'll get something that's, I had another one that was pretty dirty. That's why I didn't use it. Now I don't know what to do with it. It was sitting right here. Anyway, what will happen is you'll be able to see at the bottom of your jar all of the stuff that fell off of your brush.
Yep.
But it's okay. It won't like attach to the next brush.
Nope.
You can just smush your brush, the next brush in here, and when you clean it, it'll look like your brush is filthy because some of the gold, like I have gold gilding wax in here, but your brush will be clean. Don't throw out your solvent if it looks filthy.
No, still.
Alcohol will not work.
It won't work?
Okay. No, I don't think so. You mean for my hands?
Probably.
I don't know if I have some denatured alcohol.
You know what does work? What I use for wax? I use Dawn dish soap.
Yeah, I like to go with the powerful stuff.
I guess.
I mean, the alcohol, it's hard to tell because I got so much of it. The alcohol, the denatured alcohol, I don't know about Rayla. This is denatured. Yeah, I mean, it might work, but I mean, I don't mind the solvent cleaner, so.
Carol says, hi, ladies.
Hi, Carol. Welcome.
Roxanne, what is that cleaner called again? It's called solvent. Show her the bottle again, would you? It's called solvent because it's a solvent cleaner.
Well-used jar. I have a new one here. I'll show you what it's supposed to look like.
Looks like in the beginning before you put your brush.
I'll show you how dirty. Oh, here's my dirty one. Look how dirty this is.
Oh my goodness. I thought it was gold wax paste.
No, it still works. So I don't throw it out. It's like mineral spirits. When you use mineral spirits, the product will go to the bottom of the mineral spirits, but what's left on top is perfect. So this is the difference. Clean, dirty. But I will use this one. This one is about a quarter full. I'll use it until it's gone.
Yeah, until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it starts out looking like this. I have this one that's a little bit, you can see where it's not all dirty. And then I have this one that, like she said, it looks like I could dip my finger in there and use the gilly wax at the bottom. All right, don't stick your finger in it. That's probably a bad idea. But I don't worry about that stuff. Okay.
Just don't drink it.
Don't drink it. Okay. This is the sealer, and it's liquidy. So I do try to be careful putting this on because drips, even though they're not really, you can't see them. If you don't, if you don't want big balls of drips on here, you might want to it only needs a little bit. You're basically just neutralizing all of the chemical processing between the products and sealing in your wax. And like we said at the beginning of the video, if you just popped on here, you have to use a solvent sealer, whether it's Pentart solvent sealer or another brand. Do not use a water-based product to seal this, or you will have a gooey mess.
Yes, gum. It's crazy how that happens. In my playbook page that I did for the Fineline Crackle, I demonstrate that, and it's just amazing how it just instantly just gums up as soon as you put your brush on there. It's like a chemical reaction.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin a beautiful project by just, I mean, honestly, any product that you use, you should probably read the directions. And if the directions are confusing, reach out to your retailer or go to the Pentart page. Shannon's doing a fabulous job educating you guys on how to use this stuff.
Thank you.
You are. You should be proud.
But I love this brand and everything. I love all the products, so I want to get the word out so people can use it too.
And I am going to, I'm just quickly doing this while we're on here to show you how easy putting the sealer is. I'm not worried about showing brush strokes. This is another one that self-levels beautifully. I'm not going to get a bunch of hash marks and stuff by doing it the way that you're seeing me. You probably can't even see me doing it.
There you go. Well, we could
Sorry,
see it.
why didn't you tell me?
Well, because you were coming closer and closer. I just figured you get so close to camera, you'd back up.
Sorry.
You're good.
Well, I'm not that self-aware. But what I'm saying is, you can see me doing this, and you're probably like, "Oh my gosh, girl, you're going to have so many brush strokes on that thing. You're not going to be able to use it." But
No.
I won't. It won't have it. It self levels, kind of like the part 2 does. And I'm going to be able to go right over what I just put on there, the wax. I've never had a problem with pullback, like it coming out if I don't wait. There are some products that I'm very patient with, like primers,
Yes.
paint, that kind of stuff. I'm super patient. I wait, I make sure they're working properly. But these products, I like to push it and see how much I can get done in an hour. I've never had a problem with going directly over these cracks. Now, if I had put wax on this heavily and it was on the peaks, I would give it, a day or two to set up.
Right, so it doesn't smear.
Yeah, but I honestly, with the solvent sealers, I just find that it doesn't smear stuff.
Right, because it works with the water-based.
Yeah. So
the oil-based, yeah.
Okay, so that's done. And you know what I was going to do? Hang on.
What color is your lampshade?
It's just a kind of a really, really, really light gray.
Oh, okay, that looked nice with those blue cracks.
So what I was going to do is tell you that these are great for putting the sealer on. This is what I was going to use, because if you're like Shannon and you don't like solvent, you can just use these. They really work well. I don't get any brush marks or any kind of weird textures with these little cheap foam things.
How do they do with the cracks? Do they do the cracks okay? Or you?
I usually use a regular brush for that, because I don't those wash up with soap and water and Dawn. The part 1 and part 2, do you use solvent to clean those?
No, I mean not your cracks, but like your lamp has like bumps and details.
Oh yeah. I can just smush it.
Okay.
And then just pull it through, and it doesn't. I would do it, but I can't because it's wet.
Yeah, you already did it. Yeah, don't do it again.
So this brush, I'm gonna stick it in some solvent. I guess I could show y'all how gross it is.
Yeah, show them how easy it is to clean your brush with the solvent cleaner.
Because I was going to use the foam, but I didn't.
Well, good. Now you can give us a little lesson on the cleaner.
Oh, I crack myself up sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna just put it right in the jar, and I'm gonna smush it down until it's completely in the solvent. And then I'm going to wipe it on here.
Isn't that crazy how that works? I just switched it around a few times, wipe it on a cloth, and it's good to go.
Yeah, and you can see kind of now I did use my cleaner of the 2 dirty ones. I'll pop out the dirty ones so you can I can show you I'm not scared to use it. So I'm just gonna put it in there and smush it around, and then I'm going to go off the sides like this. And you can see some of the product from my previous cleaning on there. But I'll tell you this, these brushes that I used today were cleaned with this product, and I didn't get any reactions from anything. Like they will dry soft, and they smell good. But you probably don't like the smell, so don't be smelling your solvent.
I do. I don't like the smell of solvent, but it works. And the brushes, you're right. The bristles are super soft after you use it.
Yeah, they'll be super soft, and now they're clean. But honestly, there are a lot of people who are sensitive to smells, and if you are sensitive to smells, there's a place and time that you may have to use solvent cleaner, but you can avoid it by using cheaper products that you can just toss. So you could easily put the sealer on with this foam thing and just toss it in trash. And I believe you could probably also very easily put part 1 and part 2 on. Part 1 might be a little bit more difficult because of how thick it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
may have to experiment.
Why don't you try and let us know? Make a
Okay.
little reel and send it to me, and I'll share it with all the people.
I'll get right on that. I'll I'll send you a video and you can do all the editing
Okay,
and then you can
perfect.
post it. Because I'm a moron when it comes to editing stuff. I cannot do it.
Uh,
And then don't forget to put your lids on tight. Don't be me. My husband will be the first one to tell you I have a real problem with this. And then I was going to say the part 2 doesn't just come in this humongous thing. You can get these. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Does Fine Line, they come in this size too, right?
yeah, there's a 50 milliliter fine line. There's actually, what we need to tell these people, thank you for bringing that up, is on the Pentart website, they just put together a fine line crackle starter kit. So it's going to be that kit right there, the 250s, a 50 milliliter solvent gloss, and then
Oh,
the antique gold wax paste. So you get all four or all three products together with a little instruction guide, and I think it's $29.95 for all of it.
whoa, that's a great deal.
Yes, I'm gonna have to put that in the comments.
Yes, because this is a perfect size to try this product, and it goes a long way. Like, honestly, I mean, I always run out of part 1 first, I think because it's thicker and it just seems to take more. But and honestly, this is me being a squirrel brain. I have this one open, but I use this one instead. So I'm probably going to take this one and pour it into this one and use it like that.
There
Don't
you
be
go.
me. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Anyway,
have a couple questions here. I have one here. Listen, you might be able to answer this one for me. Okay, I have a question. I love the bonding primer. You know how creators redo the plated silver trays? I have asked if they clean them before priming. They say no. But if you don't remove the oxidation, are you going to get good adhesion?
okay, you want my opinion on that?
Absolutely.
I would never put anything on anything without cleaning it.
Right. I agree because you don't know what's there. It could be some hidden grease, oil, and that'll
At
destroy
the
the whole problem. Your whole.
absolute, she's talking about metal trays.
That's what it sounds like. Yes. The silver trays.
At the absolute minimum, I would clean it with alcohol and water. And like I said, I'm partial to the denatured alcohol. I always keep a 50-50 mix. Um, if it's a super shining silver, if it's like one of those trays that's old and oxidized,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't worry about etching it at all. But if I was trying to see if I had, I've always got stuff that I've bought, but I think I painted all mine. If it's super shiny, I would even go so far as etching it a little bit with some, like maybe 250 grit sandpaper before the bonding primer. I mean, that's
Right.
just me though. I'm like a super extra prepper.
Yeah. Well, because you want to have success. Well, that's what Catherine said. She
Yeah.
goes, "That's what I thought too." You
Yeah.
always you don't like I used to do that with furniture. Like when I first started, I was doing furniture. And if you
Hmm.
skip the most important step of cleaning your piece, you could have complete failure. It doesn't matter if you put primer on, if you did everything right. If you don't clean that piece, you could be
Hmm.
totally ruining it and have to start all over again.
I would say benefit of the doubt for any creator that doesn't clean is possibly because it's something maybe that they intend on hanging on a wall and it's never going to be touched. But if I were making stuff like that, not for myself to sell, I would never put any primer on anything if it wasn't cleaned and possibly scuff sanded. I mean, if it's a bonding primer, you probably don't need to scuff sand it. But I'm just, to
Right.
me, taking a 220 grit sponge, and even if you just use something like a 3M,
Right.
that's
3M
and put
pad.
and
Yeah.
put your alcohol on with this and just scrub it. To me, it doesn't take that much time. And the last thing I want to do is be putting a transfer or something on that same piece and it pulling all the paint off.
Right. Right. For sure.
Yes, Catherine, you're right. I will preach that prep, and patience. Those are my mottos. Prep and patience are your two
Yeah.
things that will make you successful. If you,
I've,
because these lamps are not going to be perfect because, like I said, I did quickly do them, and this one is dripping a little bit more than I would have liked, but I'm going to leave it and take pictures and show y'all that you're not going to be able to see that. It's amber right now. I wish the lighting was better in here, and I apologize for that. But so these drips,
oops. Sorry.
they're a little bit amber colored. But when this is completely dry, they're going to be clear. So I'm not going to see them.
Oh, so now I just pulled up YouTube, and there's a whole bunch of other questions over here. They don't show up on my my studio over here on Facebook. Well, let me see. It says hi from Gadget Girl. Hi. Hello all. Hello Megan. I get brush strokes from part 1 application. Are there any hints to avoid? Well, that's Kathy. That's because it's so thick.
I honestly, well, I don't really get brush strokes. Even if you, so what's her name, Kathy?
Yeah, I think she's just not using enough.
Probably. It's thick. And so, and honestly, have you continued on to part 2 and then completed part 2 and then added your wax? Are you still seeing those brush strokes through each step?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because brush strokes do show up when you're putting step 1 on, but they go away once it
Yeah, I
dries.
mean,
Me anyway.
these bases are as slick. Well, they're glass. So they're as slick as glass. And I was not careful putting part 1 on at all. There's not a single brush stroke on this. I wish y'all could see it better. They're as slick as they were before I put anything on.
Right.
Just can't see it because of the lighting in here. But I hope that y'all were able to see this.
Oh
Just
yeah,
turn
we could
it.
see them. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's really. Oh, there's a light. There it is. Just hold it like real still for a second. Yeah, just like that. Now you can really see. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's beautiful.
I think if
Sister
I
light.
hold my hand over the light, it makes it better. Hang on. Da, 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 da,
You
da.
can't see
It
it
helps
there.
if I go to.
There we go. Oh, now I can really see the blue. Ooh, look at that. Whoa, whoa. Way different now. Yeah, you got to put a piece of paper over that.
The lighting.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I'm in love. I'm so glad I thought of this because I really didn't want to do another decoupage product or
Project.
we
Yeah.
all seen these crackles used with that. And I wanted to do something where you didn't have to prime it and paint it and all that. First, I wasn't sure about the priming, to be honest. I was like, we're putting this on a super slick substrate, but I was able to grab it with my fingernails and nothing came
Right.
off.
Because it's
Super
like
impressed with
it's
that.
like a glue. It's a glue type thing. The
Yeah,
first.
it really, so go through your house and look at some of the stuff that you have that's boring, like these boring lamps, and make them pretty.
Yeah, I'm going to be showing a reel later in the week. I did a picture, a ceramic picture, but it had this really ugly design on it. So I used the
Hmm.
Pentart bonding primer, which I love. And
Yes.
then I did painted it white, and then actually I did a transfer, and then I put the fine line on. Beautiful. I know some people say don't put fine line crackle over transfers, but I've never had a problem.
Okay, so that's it. I'm going to just clarify. So you put a transfer down. You put step 1 and step 2 on top of a transfer without sealing it.
No, I sealed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you put part 1, part 2.
Yes, but a lot of people, even when they seal it, they have problem. But I used my transfer over chalk paint, and I use the bonding primer. So I don't know the people that are having the problems with the transfers. I don't know what their steps were, but I want to find out because I want to be able to tell people the correct way what you should and should not do if you use a transfer. Like I know people have been just saying don't use a transfer. Well, I don't want people to think that they can't use a transfer. I want them to know the correct steps on how to use a transfer. Like maybe not using acrylic paint, maybe the chalk paint is the key underneath. You know?
And it could be because I have great results putting transfers on top of the chalk paint. Like
Yeah. And have you ever
it
put
just,
Fineline Crackle over it?
I haven't, and it's because of that same fear. And now I'm gonna
Yeah.
try it.
Actually,
What
you
do
know
you
what?
normally what do you seal the transfer with?
Honestly, okay, if I think
Just
about
a
it,
polyacrylic?
I shouldn't say this, but I didn't. I didn't seal it. I just put it right on top. But in my reel, so I'm going to do some more research on it. I'm going to do like a line. I'm going to do different steps, acrylic. I'm going to use some of the all-in-one paints. I'm going to use the chalk paint. And I'm going
Hmm.
to just write down all my steps and then I'm going to see what happens. I just have to.
The
Cuz
reason I asked you that specifically is because I honestly feel like that part one seals it down.
it does. I would think so because it's a glue
Yeah, I don't know
feeling.
why.
Yeah.
And like you said, we don't know what their prep was. We don't, I mean, I really haven't. The only thing I've seen is like people saying that it made their transfer crack. But, I've seen transfers crack without crackle,
Right. I have
you
two.
know?
But it's all
So
like paint.
again, you could go back to temperature changes and humidity changes, and there is no perfect art. And so I really feel like, unfortunately, sometimes you're going to have a problem with some stuff, and it's very frustrating. But I don't know if it's always the product. I think sometimes it's the
User.
application or temperature and humidity, things out of your control.
Right. Yeah, there's
There's,
always something, but some people they just say don't do it because we're not really sure. But see, I'm one of those. I just try it and I just see. But here, Catherine says she was taught chalk paint works best too, and it really does. They were, yeah,
I never ever seal my paint when I transfers ever.
yeah.
I put it right on the chalk paint, and it
As long as
also
it's dry,
works.
as long as it's dry, I have no problem. So once I did put it on too soon and lifted the paint, you know, when you could touch the paint and it's dry, but it's still cool. Well, it is really
Mhm.
not dry. You got to let it dry like 24 hours or put it in the
Yeah,
Florida sun and then you're fine.
and that's where patience comes in. That's what I said. Primer paints. Those dry times and cure times are not just the companies throwing out things willy nilly. Those are very important numbers. you
Yes.
know, drying and curing, they're two different things. And like you said, it may look dry, feel dry, but really the minimum would be waiting overnight. But if you can wait 24 hours and work on another project in the meantime, then I think your success rate goes up.
Yep. Well, I think you did an absolutely fantastic job. You
Well, thank
showed
y'all for having me. It was
step
fun.
one, well, prep to step one, to step two, to filling the cracks, to sealing it. I'm going to come on screen with you.
Because it's really
Oh,
strange. There you are.
I had
It's a
to.
lot more comfortable talking to you when I can see you.
Okay. Oh, here's one. My transfer's cracked, but I wasn't using Crackle. I used regular acrylic paint. I was wondering why they cracked. Maybe the chalk paint is the key. I'm thinking chalk paint is just so much more forgiving. It might just be. I'm
And
gonna give Crackle.
I think and I could be wrong because I'm not a chemist. I know
Hello,
you're
I don't
shocked
know.
by that, but I'm not. But I know that acrylic paint, I don't know. I say I know, but I don't know. I'm just speculating. That acrylic paint is more flexible than chalk
Mhm.
paint.
It
I know that
more
like I sell a chalk paint that does have some acrylic in it, but not a lot. But it's just enough so that that paint is a little bit more flexible and it can be used like on furniture and that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I would think that 100% acrylic paint, it's got flex in it because it's plastic. I mean, it's like a plastic paint.
Exactly, and that could cause where the transfer might lift off. Um,
Yep.
well, let's see. Hold on. If you know, Pentart has chalky paint, so
Yep.
I mean, you can use Dixie Belle because that's a real chalk paint. Like Fusion is not a chalk paint; it's a
No, that's an all-in-one.
all in one. So you have to be very careful what you use. Like Amy Sloan, that's a chalk paint. So we have Decoupage Queen here. It says hello, ladies. I'm not sure who's, if it's Terry, if it's Avetta, or if it's
Hey,
it's somebody. Hi, girls. And then
hey, girl, whoever you are.
hi, girls. And then Catherine said thank you, ladies.
You're
So
very welcome.
yeah, I'm gonna sign off, but stick around. I want to talk to you for just one quick second. Okay, guys. Thank you, and thank you, Michaela, for joining us. This was it's David. Hey, David. I didn't know
It's not a she.
David's a queen. I'm sorry.
That's funny. We just assumed it's.
Yeah, and Ronnie just came on as usual. I'm like, well, Ronnie, we've been
At
yelling
least you're here.
an hour and 5 minutes, so we're gonna wrap it up real quick.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
thank you, lady. My first go at transfers. Love your advice. Good. That's what we're here for. And also, if you ever have any questions, just email your local retailer, email this page, email any of us. If we don't have the answer, we'll get you the answer. But
Right.
so anyway, thank you, Michaela.
All right.
I definitely want you back on again. So let me
Okay.
know if you're available. And yeah, thank you.